Just a short video today to share a little bit of frustration with our friends from Creality. Two different print heads, one from a Creality CR-M4, that's the one on the left, and the one on the right, an upgrade kit for a CR10 or probably 100 different other Creality printers that are made. So go over a couple of differences. The one on the left uses a Volcano hot end, and the one on the right, I don't know, standard, whatever they call it. But each of them, they use a different connector for the thermistor. So as you can see, a much larger connector for the CR-M4 head and a smaller one on the upgrade head. The issue we ran into was the replacement or upgrade print head, the one that says Ender on it, would get extremely hot, and the filament would actually just melt as it would go into it. So after doing some investigation, came to find out that the fans weren't coming on the upgrade head. So as you can see, if we look at the polarity here, we've got plus to the top and minus to the bottom on both those fans. And on the original CR-M4 head, it's the opposite. So the simplest thing I think we can do is just change the fan wiring for the upgrade head, and then we should be good to go. So with the tiniest of tiny screwdrivers, we're just going to lift the little locking tabs on these connectors and just switch the wires around. Basically, who knows, for whatever reason, essentially the same hardware, they've wired differently. So the upgrade kit is not wired to be a direct replacement for a CR-M4 print head. These little connectors are tiny, so it is a little bit of a pain, but I eventually got it to go in. None of the other devices connected to that daughter board are wired differently, just the two fans. So the CR Touch module, the stepper motor connector, all of those are good. So it responds correctly, just the two fan wires. And I didn't notice this at first, and the reason why I have two of them is just to make it, whenever something goes wrong, I can swap the heads out quickly and be back printing. So this makes it easier. The Ender head, the upgrade head, I noticed that on longer prints, the filament would just kind of come out stringy all the time. So any kind of filament retraction, any sort of printing that it was doing, the filament was just all over the place. So the prints were incoherent, if that makes any sense. And I touched the print head, and the whole thing was hot. The whole thing was able to melt the filament. So shortly after it would enter the print head, it'd be hot enough to soften it, and basically the extruder couldn't control it at that point because the fan wiring was backwards. The fans weren't coming on. So as you can see, it's not that big of a deal to fix it. It's pretty easy, but at the same time, it's surprising that they would wire these two virtually identical devices differently, such that it won't work out of the box. So if you use one of these upgrade heads, I would just make sure that the fans are working before you go too crazy.